Hi there, welcome to Jujube DIY. I'm Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I've made 4 awesome spring signs using Dollar Tree products. So if you want to see how I made them, stay tuned. For our first DIY, we're going to use this welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some needle nose pliers and I'm going to take off the welcome part. We can save that for another project later down the road. And then I'm going to take the chains off the bicycle itself. This is a really easy process. These chains are not difficult to bend with the needle nose pliers. After I have the chain off of the bicycle, I am just going to use my pliers and I'm going to bend that round circle part back and forth until it pops off. Then I'm going to take the center part of the flower off and take the flower off. Then I'm going to use this white ultra matte Rust-Oleum chalk paint to paint the bicycle and the flowers. Next, I'm going to use these picket fence signs from the Dollar Tree. I'll just pull off that jute twine and give them a couple coats of the Waverly Chalk paint in white. I found these sign blanks at Michael's. They came 2 in a package and I think they were about $5 on sale. I'm going to use one of these signs as my sign base. So I'm going to hot glue my picket fence signs to my sign base down there at the bottom. Once the spray paint dried on my bicycle, I'm going to go in with the Agave from Waverly and I'm going to give the bicycle seat, handles, and the main frame of the bicycle 2 or 3 coats of the paint. I just want it to be covered and opaque. So however many coats that takes for you is how many you'll need to do. And you don't have to worry about the backside too much, but I did go ahead and just paint everything except the wheels. Now to cover up the jagged edges from where we removed those little circles before, I am going to add some twine around the wheels. And I'm just using this cotton twine from the Dollar Tree. Now this little wheel here was more tricky because the flower doesn't come off. So I just bent the petals of the flower up a little bit so I could get that twine in there. And you're just going to wrap it around both tires until they are completely covered. This is a good project to do while you're watching your favorite YouTube channel or a TV show. Now that our tires are covered, I'm going to go in with the Waverly Chalk paint in Pink Sky, and I'm going to give these flowers a few coats of paint. And I just love this color along with that teal blue and gray of the tires. I just think this color combination is just super cute for spring. Now I'm going to use these wood pack of flowers from the Dollar Tree. This was in their new garden section this year. I really am loving the new stuff that Dollar Tree is carrying. So I'm going to pick out 6 of these flowers. I'm going to paint 3 of them in the Maize color from Waverly and 3 of them in Lavender. Now that everything is dry, I'm going to use this button furniture plug is what they're called. It's basically a round bead that's kind of flat on one end. It looks like a baby mushroom kind of. And I gave that a coat of the Maize from Waverly. And then I'm going to use a 10mm bead that I filled in halfway with some spackle painted in the Maize. And then I'm just going to hot glue that on to my flower. And as you see, I pushed down that bead and the spackle and paint weren't quite dry, so it pulled up a little bit, which I was okay with actually because it kind of gave that center a nice white color. Now we're going to glue our bicycle onto our fence. This is a little tiny bit tricky, but I used some of the Beacon quick grip glue, which is kind of like E6000 on the metal frame parts that touch the fence, and then used hot glue on the tires that touch the fence. And I just placed it where I wanted it to go. TeckWrap sent me 10 beautiful vinyls to try out, and so I wanted to use them here in this project. They also sent me this package of tools that included a scraper, which is really nice size. It also included this pen weeding tool. It is gorgeous. It's like sparkly, and you push the button like a pen, you know, a ballpoint pen or whatever, and then the pokey part comes out the bottom, so you can easily put it away and nobody gets poked when you're not using it. And then they sent me these fun colored tweezers that will be perfect for weeding projects. And the vinyl that I'm using is matte. It is a super matte vinyl, and I just loved it. It was very easy to weed, and I had a great time using this vinyl. So I will leave links down below if you're interested in trying it out, along with some coupon codes. You know, no obligation to you. If you want to try it out, feel free. If not, that's totally fine too. This super cute SVG is from Creative Fabrica. I will link that down below as well. And I think I mentioned before that I'm not paying for the Cricut Access anymore. And instead, I have purchased a couple of years actually of Creative Fabrica's subscription plan, the unlimited subscription plan, where I can get all SVGs and any products downloads on their site for a small monthly fee. I will leave links down below if you're interested in trying Creative Fabrica out. I have a link for a free trial. If you want to give it a try, you can download, I think it's maybe 10 SVGs or 10 products on their site. So it could be JPEGs, clip art, SVGs. There's so much stuff over there. It's crazy. And then you can give it a try, print it out, use it, check it out. There's so many fonts and all kinds of stuff. So I'll leave that link down below as well. And if you want to give it a try, you can. And then if you purchase any subscriptions or anything like that, I do get a small kickback for that. But, you know, again, you don't have to use any of the links that I list down below. I only link and talk about products that I really like and that I would recommend to my closest friends. And you guys are my closest friends, you know, so I'm not going to tell you to go buy something that I think is crap. If it is a good product and it is valuable to me, then I will let you guys know about it. So I think I've talked about Creative Fabrica so many times, and I just really love that it is supporting small creative businesses, and it's not this huge company that's just out to make as much money as they can. You know, they're supporting designers and getting people's artwork out there, and I love that aspect of Creative Fabrica. So definitely go check it out if you want to. I'll leave links down below, and if you want a video of me showing you how I get my SVGs from Creative Fabrica to my Cricut, let me know in the comments. And if I get enough interest in that, then I will create a video showing that process if you would like. So as you can see, I am just using my Posca paint pen to add some of those cute little details that I love on my projects. Now I have this cute little mini bunting banner. It's for like a cake. It's like a cake decoration, so I'm pretty sure you can get them on Amazon or any craft store, but I just added a couple of those in the corner and then hot glued it to the back, and I absolutely adore how this sign turned out. I think it is so cute. So for this DIY, we're going to use this welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. This is one of their new things that they came out with this year that I was so excited to use. I'm going to use my heat tool to heat up that potted plant and that pitchfork, garden fork, I guess, at the end. I don't know what it is. And then I'll use my glue eraser and a little bit of sandpaper to smooth it out. Next, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to mark out where all of those letters are so that I've got a clear idea as to where I want to paint. I'm basically going to paint each of these letters a different color. And as you can see, like here, I'll show you in a second. Right there between like the W and the E at the bottom, I'm going to paint that area in a dark chocolate color. I'm actually going to go in with Cafe Noir from Hello Hobby, and that's just going to kind of put it in the background, but it's not going to detract from the colors of our sign. So I'm just going to go in and do that first, and then I'll go in and paint each of the letters a different color. Now I decided I wanted my boots here in the middle. I felt like this was really a focal point of the sign, and I wanted them to be a fun color. So I chose the Dusk from Waverly. I love this blue color. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, and I think that it was a perfect fit for our rain boots. So you can change it up if you'd rather have yellow or pink rain boots. Definitely do that. And then you can just pick your colors to coincide for your letters. I'm going to use some of the elephant chalk paint at the bottom to make the sole of the boots stand out a little bit. And that just gives it a little more interest and fun. And I'll do that to the second boot, even though you can't really see it too much, but we want to make sure that that second boot's got a sole too. And here it is painted in our beautiful pastel colors. And I will leave all the colors that I use for each project listed down below. I'm going to use my Posca paint pen, and I am going to create some big circles and then go in and do some little tiny polka dots around it. Make sure that when you are doing a pattern like this that you go off of the letters a little bit, and it just makes that pattern feel a little more organic and cohesive. So just go in and do that to each of your letters, and then I am going to go in and add a little bit of sparkle and highlight to my boots. So I'm not really going in and doing anything with any kind of rhyme or reason. I just put it on there wherever I think it might need to go. Next, I'm going to use the Waverly Chalk paint in Hazelnut, and I'm going to paint the handle of our garden fork. I don't know, what is that called, guys? Let me know. I think it's like, I think they call it a garden fork or I don't know. I use them to get the weeds out of my garden sometimes, but that's all I know. And then I'll paint the bottom of my plant, kind of that same color. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of truffle from Waverly, and I'm going to mix the two colors together to create a darker shade, and that's just to add a little bit of dimension to my pot and to the handle of my fork there. I just wanted it to have a little more of a 3D effect and not be so flat. But if you're not comfortable doing that, you can just leave the pot one color. It's totally up to you and how you want your project to look. Then for the plant itself, I painted it in the celery color from Waverly. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of moss from Waverly and add in the veins and the kind of accent pieces to our leaves. Again, this is just giving it kind of more of a 3D look, and it is totally up to you if you want to go this route. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer to add these little details, but I love how the little details of the extra shading and paint just kind of add more to a project. So in my opinion, it's worth that time and effort to do those. Now I have 3 of these little wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. This little potted flower, I gave it a coat of the lavender and then painted the pot kind of in that same way that I did before. I've got the wheelbarrow and then this cute little watering can that I gave some stripes to. I just love how these turned out. So now we're going to put our little wood pieces back onto our sign. And as you can see, I did change the location of my potted plant and the fork there. And then I'm going to add those other little elements in between some of the other letters. And I just think this turns out so cute. And now I'm going to add this welcome sign onto one of the Dollar Tree signs. I just love how this one turned out. I cannot wait to hang this up in my house. You'll have to let me know what you think. All right, moving on to our next DIY, I'm going to use this circle round from the Dollar Tree. When these were in my Dollar Tree, I picked up quite a few of them because it was such an awesome deal. Then I'm going to use my ruler to mark out a couple of stripes. Basically what I want is 3 different stripes, and they don't have to be the same size. You can make them whatever size you want. I think my middle side, or the middle there, is about 4¼ inches or so. And then I'm going to use some washi tape to mark off the areas so that I don't get paint into those areas I don't want. So that middle section I'm going to paint white. Then I will move that washi tape up after the white is dry, and I will paint pink on each end of our circle. Now this is one of the new Dollar Tree wood signs. It is a watering can that said "Life is Beautiful" on the front and had some 3D elements. I decided to try and take off all those 3D elements with my heat tool. It was okay. I did have some problems. I did break a couple of things that I had to glue back together. So I am not going to say do this part because it was a little difficult, and it might just be more easy to paint it with all the elements still on it. But I had already done it, so you guys get to see what I did there. So I painted up our flowers, gave the paint can itself a coat of the Waverly Chalk paint in Agave, and then did black on the top because I just wanted the flowers to really stand out on the top. And then I'm going to take a couple of those loose flowers from that 9-pack that I showed you earlier, paint them in the same kind of color scheme of the pink, lavender, and yellow, and I'll add those kind of to the bottom of our watering can just to make it look a little more full and filled out. Then I'm going to add in our "Life is Beautiful" back into it. I'm going to add a couple of these cute little ladybugs from the Dollar Tree, one on the whole of the sign there at the top, and then one on our life, just to kind of give it a little bit of so that it's not like one little ladybug sitting there by itself. It kind of gives it something else to look at. It's a whole triangle theory thing. It's a design thing, I guess. So I chose to add one of those ladybugs to the bottom there too. Then, of course, I'm going to go in with my Posca paint pen and add all those cute little elements to this project. Now, you definitely don't have to do this part of the project because sometimes it does take extra time. There's no lying. It does take extra time, and it does, you can make your projects feel like it's taking forever when you do all these little extras. But in my opinion, it really elevates your project, and it makes it go from like a flat 2D piece to something that's interesting or like kind of that wow factor. So, of course, you're always welcome to create your projects the way you want. I am here for inspiration only, not to tell you how you should or should not do a project. But in my opinion, I just think that these little accents and extra bits of paint and detail just add so much to a project. So I'm going to continue adding all the way around our little watering can, and yeah, I'll just keep adding until I'm happy with how it looks. Now the final thing to do is add our watering can to our round striped piece here, and I'm just going to use hot glue, but if you're going to put this on a door somewhere where the elements might change, then you might want to use some heavier duty glue like wood glue or E6000, and then I'll just add that jute string back in the top. And here is a look at the final product. I think this is so cute and so fresh and just perfect for spring. For our last project, we're going to use a couple of these Dollar Tree flower ornaments. I filled in the holes with a bit of spackle, let it dry, and then I'm going to go in with a fine paintbrush. I'll link a set down below that I like to use, and some of the Waverly Chalk paint in ink. I did water the paint down so that it goes on easier and more smoothly. Sometimes that does mean that you have to do a couple extra layers to get that opaque look, but in my opinion, it is totally worth it to have the paint feel a little more fluid when you're painting tiny elements like this. So as you can see, this is a different style flower than the first one. I used 3 of this style and 3 of the first one, and I'm going to do the same to all of them. So I'll start off by painting around the outside with black, and then I painted 3 of these flowers just like this. And again, I will leave the colors that I use in my description box below, and 3 of them that look like this. That was so cute. Now I'm going to use a number 2 flat brush. You can use any small flat brush using some watered down white chalk paint. I am going to create that cute little checkerboard look all along the outside of these flowers. I think that this is such a cute and whimsical piece, and I just adored how this turned out. This is actually probably more my style than anything else. I love that kind of chaotic, whimsical look, and I just really love how this project turned out. Now, keeping with the whimsy, I am going to use my Posca paint pen, and I am going to add some fun little elements inside the leaves, the stems, and the petals of each of the flowers. And I will just let you see how I did that with each of them. Now, if you want a picture of each of these flowers up close, definitely check out my Pinterest and my Instagram page. I will leave those linked down below where you can see still pictures of these projects. That way, if you want to be able to see them in a still photo, you can do that so that you have a better idea as to how I painted each of these elements. Now to work on the base of our sign, I am using one of these Crafters square Dollar Tree wood signs. I painted it with the Waverly Chalk paint in white, and then I'm going to go in with some washi tape to create some stripes. I'm going to paint those stripes in the lavender from Waverly, and then I'm going to use one of these garden stakes to write out hello in my own cursive handwriting. I just did it in pencil so that I could erase it if I needed to. It did take me a couple tries to get it just how I wanted it, but once I did, I went over it with my Posca paint pen. And how cute is that? Now we're going to add our flowers in a pattern, and I'm going to add that hello sign to the back of the sign at an angle just like you see there. And I just hot glued everything down. Now I wanted this to be a standing piece, so I used some Jenga blocks to add to the back so it will stand freely on its own. Now I needed to cover up that circle hole in the front there, and so I'm going to use some more of those Dollar Tree ladybug stickers. I did glue the stickers on because I'm not sure how well the stickers will hold overall, but this is how it turns out. I think that this is just so cute. This is definitely my style and I love it the most. So as always, let me know in the comments down below which project was your favorite from today. Thank you to TeckWrap for the goodies that you sent, and as always, I hope you guys have a happy, healthy, and blessed day, and I will see you at the next video. Bye!